Welcome to the Ready Society. I'm Andrea Oliver. I'm nobody special, but my grandbabies sure think I'm a big deal. For the next 4 episodes, we're going to do something a little different. We're going heads down on one topic, and that is money. Specifically, how regular people who have bills, who are tired, people that don't have a trust fund or a wealthy uncle or a pile of savings to fall back on, how do those people find, build, and secure income that doesn't depend on one employer, one economy, or one set of circumstances staying exactly the same forever? Because here's the thing. The circumstances are not staying the same. They haven't been for a while. And most of the advice out there is still written for a world that don't even exist anymore. So that's what we're going to fix. We're going to have 4 episodes, real information, no hype, no overnight success stories, no just believe in yourself, no meditation nonsense, just a clear picture of what's actually out there and how you can get started, even if you're starting from zero. So let's get into it. In 1848, gold was discovered at Sutter's Mill in California. Within 2 years, 300,000 people had flooded into the state from across the country and around the world. They came with picks and pans and the absolute conviction that they were about to get rich. Except most of them didn't. The miners who struck it rich were the exception. The vast majority of people just worked themselves to exhaustion. They spent everything they had getting there and came home with nothing. Or they didn't come home at all. But here's what the history books tend to gloss over. The people that got extraordinarily wealthy during the gold rush, it wasn't the miners. Sam Brannan figured it out first. He was actually the man who kicked the whole thing off. He ran through the streets of San Francisco waving a vial of gold dust and shouting about the discovery. But instead of staking a claim himself, he went and bought up every pick, shovel, and pan that he could find. He owned the only supply store between San Francisco and the gold fields, and he sold everything back to the miners at prices that would make your eyes water. Within 9 weeks, he had made $36,000. He ended up becoming the first gold rush millionaire, and he never mined a single ounce of gold. Levi Strauss showed up and looked at what 300,000 men who worked with their hands actually needed. Durable pants that weren't going to fall apart. So he started selling reinforced denim work pants. And he built his company that's worth billions today. Farmers were selling onions near the mining camps, and they were clearing the equivalent of $160,000 in a single year. Delivery men were pulling 6-figure salaries. The women who figured out that 300,000 men needed clothes washed and laundry done and all of that, they charged accordingly. And they made more than most of those miners ever saw. They weren't chasing gold. They were looking at what the people chasing the gold needed, and they showed up with it. And I'm telling you this story because we're living through an identical moment right now, and most people are playing the role of the miner. What's actually happening right now is there are massive structural shifts happening in the global economy, not temporary dips. We're not talking about a rough patch. We're talking about structural shifts. And it's the kind that take a whole decade at least to really play out and create real winners and leave a lot of people behind if they don't see it coming. So let me give you a few examples so this isn't abstract in your mind. The tariffs are back and they're not going away. That means manufacturing is moving. Supply chains are being rebuilt. Entire industries are relocating, and every single one of those moves creates a demand for people and services around it. AI is here. It's not coming. It is actually here. And before you tune out because you think I'm about to tell you that your job's getting replaced, hold on. Because AI is also the single biggest shovel opportunity that we've seen in 20 years. The businesses and the people who figure out how to use it and teach it and implement it and support it, they're going to get paid. They're the ones who don't fear it. 73 million baby boomers are aging into a life stage where the system was not built to handle. That's not a sad statistic. That's just a decade of demand for services and products and care and support that doesn't have nearly enough supply yet. $84 trillion is moving between generations in what they're calling the Great Wealth Transfer. That money's landing with people who need advisors and services and products that traditional institutions don't know how to provide. Water, farmland, energy, nuclear, logistics. All of these are early stage gold rush formations right now. They're not hype, they're structural. They're backed by population growth and geopolitical reality and infrastructure gaps that aren't going to close overnight. Now, you might be sitting here thinking, okay, Andrea, all that sounds great for people with money to invest, but what does any of that have to do with my overdue electric bill? Well, everything. And that's exactly what this series is about. Because every single one of these gold rushes needs shovels. The AI gold rush needs people who can help businesses figure out how to use the tools. It needs trainers and consultants and workflow builders, support staff. None of those require a computer or a science degree. The aging population gold rush needs caregivers and care coordinators and companion services and home organizers, errand runners, medical transport drivers, meal prep people. Those are real jobs with real money going through, and that real demand is not going away. The supply chain shift needs freight brokers and customs consultants and logistics coordinators, translators, bookkeepers, administrative support. None of those require any kind of startup capital to start doing. The creator and knowledge economy needs people who know things, not just celebrities and influencers, but people who know something that somebody else needs to know and they're willing to share it. The entry point isn't investing. The entry point is showing up with the right skill at the right moment. And right now, there's a lot of right moments happening simultaneously. So here's what I want you to take away from this episode. The economy changed, and that's not a bad thing across the board. It's just a disruptive thing, which means that creating losers and winners at the same time, and the losers are the ones who are waiting for it to go back to the way it was. But it's because it's just not going back. If you're sitting there and you're one of these people saying, I can't wait till, this or that happens, or you're waiting on the next administration to come in and fix everything, that's not going to happen. You're literally going to be the next loser. But over the next 3 episodes, we're going to get really specific, and we're going to talk about gig work, the skills economy, the fastest path to extra income when you have nothing but time and what you already know. We're going to talk about digital products, affiliate income, how you can start building things that can pay you without you having to show up every single time and every single day. We're going to talk about the new creator economy, and not the follower-chasing brand deal version, but the version where regular people get paid for knowing something useful. But before I do any of that, I want you to do one thing. Go grab the book. It's called Nobody's Coming to Save You. It's $5, AndreaOliver.com/no one's coming. And I'll put the link in the show notes. It covers everything that we're going to talk about in this series with worksheets and frameworks, things that you can actually use. It's $5 because I just wanted it to be accessible to the people who actually need it and not people who can afford a $97 course. It's $5. Go start there. I'll see you next time.